This is America and the World recently visited Greece. The official name is the Hellenic Republic. Say Greece, and what may come to mind is the home of democracy and Western culture. But Greece is also a modern country with tremendous energy and resilience. On this program, the Minister of Economy and Development shares some good news about Greece's economy, and will visit with the Executive Director of the Home Project, which cares for unaccompanied refugee children. We'll also get an education about Greek shipping, meet some American students here on a 2-week visit to learn about their Greek-American heritage, and go on board the USS Mesa Verde. But first, the only way to begin is with a trip to one of the most historic sites on Earth, the Acropolis.
What Acropolis means in Greek means the top city. It's the upper city, Acropolis. Acro means the peak, the top. Now, Parthenon is one building. It's the Parthenon. What we know, the Doric temple, the famous Doric temple is the Parthenon.
How old is this site?
It's very old. It goes back to prehistory. It goes back to the 4th millennium.
Who built it and why?
The prominent buildings. Pericles, who decided that after the victorious Battle of Marathon, for which Athenians bragged very much, that they saved the entire Greece from the Persian invasion. And Pericles decided to have a program that would pronounce this prominent victory and position of Athenians within all the other Greeks. The whole thing started in 447.
447?
Yes.
How the heck did they get all these stones and marble
and the money and the money
to come up to the top? How did that all come about?
What they did, they went up to the Pentelic mountain, which is north from here. It's about 15 kilometers from here. And they drag with the wagons all the way down. They brought the pre-made stones, because at the quarry there, not only they cut the marbles, but they more or less pre-shaped what they wanted. So they brought it here, and here they finished, they did the actual final touches here. And of course they built everything and sculpted everything here.
So it took how long to build?
The entire program, about 40 years.
40 years?
Not just the Parthenon, all the buildings, which means the gateway, the propylaea, the Parthenon itself, the Erechtheion, which is this building right here, and the small temple dedicated to Athena Nike, and some other minor temple, small buildings.
How many visitors might come a year? Any idea?
Yeah, about 2 million.
Do they treat it with great respect?
I say yes. They greatly respect the monument. They know why they're here. They want to come. They know why they're here, and they want to see the building.
And this is your baby.
More or less, yes.
Doctor, thank you so much.
Thank you for coming.
This is America and the World is brought to you by the Petrolin Group, expertise with integrity in the fields of oil and gas, exploration and production, energy and infrastructure. The Libra Group, the Stavros Niarchos Foundation, John and Mary Pappajohn, the American Hellenic Institute, the U.S.-China Education Trust and F.Y. Chang Foundation, guided by Ambassador Julia Chang Block, President, the National Hellenic Society, preserving Hellenic heritage in America, Katerina Panagopoulos, the Barakis Foundation, the League of Arab States, the Rotendaro Family Trust, and the Embassy Series, uniting people through musical diplomacy, presenting international artists in diplomatic settings. No problem in Greece is more pressing than its financial crisis, now in its 8th year. Some call it the Greek Depression. I met with the Minister of Economy and Development, who believes that Greece is now headed in the right direction.
The financial crisis in Greece was a result of many factors. First was the starting of the financial crisis, which was a meltdown in the United States that transported on the other side of the Atlantic. And of course, it could not but affect Greece. And that created a larger crisis for Greece, because this was the time when the European partners realized that Greece actually had a very high debt to GDP ratio that was hard to roll over and finance because of the crisis that had started in America and then was spread in Europe. That created the Greek financial crisis, which of course led to rescue packages from the European Union, as well as the involvement of the IMF. And of course, fast forward, this led to 2 more arrangements for financing with very tight strings attached, which was the austerity that we have seen. I think we have changed, we have turned the page. It is on the road to recovery. It has shown dramatic strength, actually, both in terms of what one will measure the appropriate indicators to show that there is a growth, such as the level of investment, the level of industrial production, the level of, to some extent, employment, also the level of profitability of businesses that are either operating in the stock market or outside of the stock market. And also, I think, the level of the climate, I will say, of the investing public. One has to look what happens now. I know that the suffering has been dramatic. I know that many people have lost their sense of what the future will be for them. But I want to give them an uplifting note that this has been in the past, and I think the pain will ease, and the better days are coming to Greece to regain what it used to be in terms of its income levels and its fortunes and its place in the Eurozone.
Minister, thank you for the education and your hospitality. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.
At the same time Greece has been struggling with its debt crisis, the country has been heroic in handling the international refugee crisis. The Home Project offers shelter, guidance, and hope for unaccompanied refugee children. I spoke with the executive director and a brave young woman whose dangerous journey has taken her from Afghanistan to Pakistan to Iran to Turkey and now Greece. How many refugees have passed through Greece since the crisis began?
So there have been more than 1,500,000 refugees that have passed through Greece.
How many are here now?
There are less than 60,000.
And of the 60,000, how many of them are children?
Around 45% are children. But 7,000 of the refugees in Greece are unaccompanied minors, which means there are children that have arrived here all alone. Some of these children left by themselves.
Oh, wow.
And
what
were
courage.
sent by their parents to be saved, to escape war, poverty, or persecutions. Others have lost their parents during the journey. And some others have been sent by their families to be able to bring the rest of the family when they arrive in Europe. Now what has happened is that after the EU-Turkey agreement and the closure of the borders, these people are trapped here. These children are trapped here, and all the relevant accommodation units are not enough. So as we speak, these children are without a home at the moment. They're in the streets, in camps, in detention, suffering from all sorts of physical, emotional, psychological, and sexual violence. So if these children are left outside of a protection system, they're exposed to all sorts of threats. So it is of urgent importance to us to bring these children into a shelter. What we're trying to do, and it's a daily fight, is to substitute for a parent and a social protection system.
Afghanistan, the border of Pakistan, after Pakistan, Iran, after Iran, and Turkish.
So sometimes by car, sometimes by foot?
By foot, after in Turkish until Greece, by ship.
By ship?
Yes.
And people died on the ship?
Yes.
In the crossing?
Yes, a lot of people.
A lot of people?
Yes.
How old are you, can I ask?
Yes, I am 17 years old.
17 years old. And do you have family still back in Afghanistan?
Just my mother is in Afghanistan, nobody.
Just your mother?
Yes.
Oh,
my two brothers, before I'm here and bomb in Afghanistan, dead. It's a very problem, yes.
Your brothers died?
Yes, two brothers.
In the bomb?
Yes.
And just your mom?
Yes.
Have you...
But here, one sister and one brothers, one sister is in Austria, one brother is in French.
In France?
Yes.
Oh, and your hope is to meet with them again, huh?
Yes.
Would you see your mother again as well?
Yes, but it's impossible.
So we have 5 shelters for a total of 100 children. 4 of the shelters are for boys, 1 is for girls, and we have another 7 in the making. It is our duty to provide to them the protection and hope they are entitled to. They are children. These children are tomorrow's world.
Thank you for what you're doing for the children. That's the most important thing.
Thank you.
And it's an honor to be with you today.
Thank you very much.
Shipping has played an essential role in the Greek economy for centuries. Trade is really the name of the game. I spoke with business executive and shipping company owner AC Laskaridis.
Shipping, and I'm talking about Greek-owned shipping rather than Greek-flagged shipping, is a very important part of the Greek economy. About 6% of the GDP of Greece is contributed to by the shipping industry. There are almost 5,000 Greek-owned ships under various flags that ply the oceans of the world. And Greeks are essentially cross-traders carrying third parties' cargoes worldwide and serving transport needs of clients worldwide. A number that might be worth noting is that Greek-owned shipping represents 50% of the European Union shipping in terms of tonnage, which is a remarkable achievement.
How about the traffic back and forth to the United States?
The United States are a major cargo generating area and also cargo import area for Greek-owned tonnage. The US Gulf is a major provider of agricultural products that Greek-owned ships and many others carry, exporting those goods to either Europe or the Far East. And then you have, of course, also exports of minerals, iron ore, coal, that are also a major provider of cargoes for transportation.
Tell me a little bit about your own company.
We are active in 3 different segments because shipping has various segments under which one is active. We are active in dry bulk shipping, which carries agricultural commodities or minerals. We're active in refrigerated trades, which carries perishables, from fruit to frozen fish. and we're active also in smaller chemical tankers, which carries oil products.
So for your own particular interest, has the financial crisis that has hit Greece so hard, has that impacted on the shipping industry per se?
No, it has not. I mean, the domestic financial situation is completely unrelated to the ship-owning activity. So it is really something that is irrelevant as far as the Greek shipping that trades internationally is concerned.
Because goods have to move around the world, right?
Because goods have to move around the world, and because we are much more impacted by what happens in China, or what happens in India, or what Mr. Trump decides eventually to do with globalization and trade, rather than what happens in the local domestic economy here in Greece.
Thank you so much for your hospitality, your warmth.
Thank you.
Hospitality and Greece go hand in hand, huh?
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Location is key, and the many ports of Greece host not only cargo and cruise ships, but military ships as well. Athens was a port of call for the USS Mesa Verde. Captain Max Clark welcomed us aboard and gave us a tour of the ship.
Dennis, welcome aboard, sir. Great
So
to have you
nice
here.
to meet you, Captain.
Yeah.
Thank you for your hospitality.
Absolutely.
Tell me a little bit about this wonderful ship.
So this is the quarterdeck of the amphibious transport dock USS Mesa Verde, LPD 19.
Mesa Verde.
Mesa Verde, named
that's
after a national park.
And you are the captain of the...
I am. I'm the captain of the ship.
good deal.
Yeah, it's a great job. The best job in the Navy.
Looks like the size of a football field. Bigger, smaller, about the same size?
Yeah, I would say 2 football fields. So
Is that right?
684 feet. Right, if I do public math, I think, about 2 football fields, about 25,000 tons.
And what is in our language, what's the basic mission of the ship?
So this ship, I have a well deck and I have a flight deck. Well deck is below the flight deck, and it's basically an area that can turn into a swimming pool that I have landing craft in there. So between helicopters and these surface connectors, as we call it, or landing craft, we can take Marine troops and equipment ashore. Currently, I have UH-1 Yankees and AH-1 Whiskey aircraft, so Cobras and Hueys. I can also take MB-22s, I can take CH-53s in any kind of combination. So it's a big flight deck and very versatile.
So it's your presence wherever you are that's sending a very clear message.
Absolutely. Presence certainly would want to dissuade and influence actors in support of national security interests, but then also Marines, right, give me my teeth and hammer, if you will, should we have to use force. This, as a mariner, you probably know, in the Navy, right, we have ladders, we got decks, we got overheads, and we got bulkheads. Generally bring on board a harbor pilot and a... a very experienced Greek mariner comes aboard, and he's controlling the tugs for me. As you can see, it was a little bit of a tight squeeze getting into the channel here, and then we're coming in bow in, so we have to conduct a port twist on the ship and then back her into the berth. I think I can speak for just about every sailor and Marine on board that we all consider it a privilege to be wearing the uniform and representing our fellow citizens back at home. We're honored to be forward deployed and keeping those that would do us harm running away from our shores. And we're going to continue to complete the mission and stand ready to execute anything that we're called to do.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Dennis. Appreciate you coming aboard.
Terrific. Thank you very much for your hospitality. Thank you, Captain. The American College of Greece is the 2-week home for students from the United States, sponsored by the National Hellenic Society. The goal, experience Greece. I talked with the college president, the society's executive director, and of course, the students.
There are 62 students visiting here right now. It's a shared experience with students from the American College of Greece. And it's just fascinating to see how the students learn from one another. And most of the activities are geared towards them connecting to their heritage and their roots and the culture. And oddly enough, we also see that the students from the American College of Greece learn a tremendous amount about their own heritage and also from the students, our students in the United States. So it's just a marvelous experience. And what's different and separates us from many others is that the experience doesn't stop when the plane returns at Dulles Airport. We continue to take an active role in advancing their careers and mentorship, internships, job advancement, utilizing our resources and network of very successful people to help them out in their careers.
So we got 62 students coming from the States. How do you pick I want to go back to you, Art, in a second, but how do you pick the students to work with the students coming from America?
Well, both for the American students and for the Greek students, it's a competitive process.
Wow.
So the students coming go through an admissions selection process. I know Art says it pains him to have to say no to some
I can imagine.
very good students, but if you look at the academic profiles of the students who come, they're very high academic achievers. So we look to pair them with those kinds of students of similar academic quality, and we have them here. Very good students, and also students, we go through an interview process so that we identify students who have a really sincere interest in being part of the program.
Now, one of the folks on your team gave me some literature about the program, and I see everything from language to visiting the Acropolis and the Plaka and all of the great sites of antiquity, but also cooking lessons and dancing lessons and sailing lessons. We're talking about really immersion in the Greek heritage and character, huh?
Absolutely. I think my best testimonial was a dad that said, what I've been trying to do for 21 years, you've done in 2 weeks. So.
Whoa. What does the program bring to the college?
Well, in my 9 years here, I would say the central thing I've really tried to emphasize is what I call the internationalization of the campus. And that is bringing students from around the world, especially though from the United States, because we're American, to the campus. And what that does for our students, especially our Greek students, is it connects them personally to the rest of the world.
Thank you both very much. I'm so eager to talk to some of the kids.
What a pleasure.
Thank you,
What a
David.
pleasure.
All right, thank you.
What does coming here to Greece, what does that mean to you?
Well, my dad, his mom is 100% Greek, and she passed away when I was young, and so I never really had much of the Greek culture, and everyone here knows all these foods and stuff, and I'm just really interested in like learning about this background that I've never really explored.
And I know a little bit of the language, so this was kind of the one missing piece. So to come here and kind of complete that is something.
My papu immigrated from Greece.
Your who?
My papu.
Papu?
Yes, my grandfather.
I love that.
Yes, he immigrated from Greece after the Greek Civil War, and growing up hearing his stories shared with my parents and with my sister and myself just was incredible to see the land that he came from firsthand.
You know, they're out to help you. If you look lost, someone will direct you, especially in places like Athens and out to the islands, out to small villages. It's like your entire extended family, even though you might not know all 10 million people.
Greece can inspire you to write poems no matter where you go.
Oh, how nice thought.
The warmth you talked about really goes through your heart and makes you want to write something about it.
When we go out for coffee or for a dinner or something, we like sit for 3-4 hours talking.
5 hours.
Yeah, and they're like, it's been 30 minutes. We should leave. And it's like, wow, we just came.
Yes, yes.
Only by going to Greece and experiencing that firsthand, not diluted by any other culture, is when you really see the essence of being Greek and what that means. So
there was a rule from Zeus that everybody that comes to your door, you must invite them in, feed them, make them sleep. And it was a rule, and they had to do it.
For me, I'd love to study abroad here, you know, in the future. I would never have known that if I never came here.
The Greek culture is so resilient.
It's just walking around the streets, because that's when you get the greatest sense of the city and the people and what life is like. And being able to do that here, whether it's walking to classes at the American College of Greece or walking back to our dorms or going out for dinner at night, is just an incredible experience.
We also learn America through them. Like it's an exchange, it's a two-way. We speak about Greece, we guide them, and they speak about America, their culture there, their ways of doing things. And maybe one day we go to America, we visit America, and they will be our guides.
When you show them Greece, you get to see Greece as well through their eyes. And it's beautiful, the feeling, the excitement you guys have for Greece, and it's precious.
A special thanks to Hotel Grand Bretagne, a luxury collection hotel, Athens. For information about This Is America and the World, and to watch all of our programs, visit our website, thisisamerica.net, and look for us on Facebook and Twitter. You can now listen to all of our ambassador interviews on our new podcast, the Ambassador Series. It's available on our website and iTunes. This is America and the World is brought to you by the Petrolin Group, expertise with integrity in the fields of oil and gas exploration and production, energy and infrastructure. The Libra Group, the Stavros Niarchos Foundation, John and Mary Pappajohn, the American Hellenic Institute, the U.S.-China Education Trust and F.Y. Chang Foundation, guided by Ambassador Julia Chang Block, President. The National Hellenic Society, preserving Hellenic heritage in America. Katerina Panagopoulos. The Barakis Foundation. The League of Arab States. The Rotendaro Family Trust. And the Embassy Series, uniting people through musical diplomacy, presenting international artists in diplomatic settings.